Last time we looked at the definition of crypto. What is crypto? And we define crypto as any digital currency that whose uh, whose issuance, verification, and distribution, and even regulation is not in the control of any central government. And I went further to define, give us more and more definitions, and then I finally gave my own definition on the premises that every lecturer back then in the university, just in case you are in the university and you have been through the university, you will know that after a lecturer must have given you all standard definition there is, he adds his own definition. So I defined cryptocurrency personally as the revolution and the evolution of paper money. Yeah, so we looked at how it all started. That's when we looked at the history, saw that it became an open source in 2009. We delved deep into the history, and then we also looked into the future impact on the global economy. So, welcome to Ambassadors Hub Cryptokademy. Tonight's section is going to be the part one of blockchain because the subject matter of blockchain is vast. So, when I was preparing my curriculum, I had to split it into two for effectiveness and efficiency. First of all, understand that you can talk about crypto without mentioning blockchain. Are you hearing me? You can't talk about cryptocurrency without mentioning blockchain. It's just like saying you can't talk about naira or any currency you are using depending on your country of residence without talking about their central banks. Yes, their central banks are responsible for issuance, regulation, verification, distribution, and the likes of your uh, local currency. So, what is blockchain? I am going to be doing cryptocurrency without talking about blockchain. Just the same way you can't talk about your traditional currencies without talking about your central banks, right? Blockchain is defined. There are several definitions. So I am going to give you every definition that I have, and then I'm going to give you my own definition, and then we'll write down. I'm asking, what is blockchain? I said a blockchain is a distributed database that is shared among the nodes of a computer network. Yes. Blockchain, I repeat, I'm going to explain. Blockchain is a distributed database that is shared among the nodes of a computer network. Now, what's a node? That's a question you might want to ask me now. What's the node? A node is a point in the network diagram at which lines or pathways intersect or cross. I hope you got that. I'll take it again. I said a blockchain is a distributed database that is shared among the nodes of a computer network. And I said, what is a node? I said a node is a point or a diagram at which the lines or pathways intersect or branch. Right? So a blockchain is a database. And as a database, a blockchain stores information electronically in digital format. Like I said, the reason why you might hear me speak slow is on account of the fact database, and as a database, a blockchain stores information electronically in digital format. Now, second definition I have here is blockchains. Blockchains are best known for their crucial role in cryptocurrency. Yes, blockchain are best known for their crucial role in cryptocurrency systems such as Bitcoin. It is used for maintaining a decentralized record of transactions. So the idea is this: your primary banks is centralized. And that's why you have CBN governors and the likes. So your CBN governor can wake up any day like mine and decide to shut down anything he feels like. He could decide to shut down Naira and we start making use of any currency he chooses. He can influence what happens to Naira. And that's because the central bank that he's working in is responsible for the maintenance of the records of transaction. So if he's not happy with the record of transaction, he can do whatever he wants with it. But in blockchain, I said blockchain is that electronic database that is used for maintaining and securing a decentralized record of transactions. So there's no singular person controlling a blockchain. The blockchain is uh, the result of different intersections, different programmings from different computer networks. So there's no one person controlling it. And that's why you have or you hear the word miners. Miners. Miners are those contributing to the nodes. Miners are those programmers. Call them miners. They are the ones, contributing to the nodes. And every day, people are learning mining. People are contributing to the system. So we are really seeing how decentralized it can be, right? So the innovation with a blockchain is that it guarantees the fidelity and security of the record data and generates trust without the need of a third party. So in crypto, I can have a transaction with the system, and I'm not using a third party. A third party in this case is a bank, yes, a bank, an institution, an ATM card. Okay, an ATM card is not a third party though, but a human being too, right? So the innovation of blockchain is that it guarantees fidelity and security of transactions without the use or the need of a third party. Blockchain is what makes for the possibility of the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency. Blockchain made it possible. Yes, blockchain made it possible. And that's why I'm teaching it. Because if you don't understand the blockchain, you will never have a good foundation on crypto. Yes. So if you understand that there are millions of persons contributing to the success of blockchain, thousands and thousands of miners. Like I said, each miner contributes. And the transactions you and I carry also have a way of adding to the blocks. I'm going to explain that further. I'm going to explain it later on, but let's continue. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and I'm going to be showing you what a blockchain looks like and using the description of a node. All right, so sharing my screen right now. So I want to believe you can see this. Now this is a blockchain node. So you can see this what you're seeing here, these connections are the different things, the different intersections, the different branches, the different movements that contribute to the blockchain. So the blockchain, in quotes, is our central bank, right? But unlike our traditional central bank, the blockchain is not dominated by anybody. And that's what one of the major reasons why crypto is safe and extremely safe, because people have been looking for a way to have transactions without anybody knowing about it. Secured transactions. Yes. Blockchain makes it possible for you also to not to necessarily know someone's network, except the person decides to blow his or her horn. The best that can happen to blockchain when it comes to security and when it comes to security and its hidden nature is that the highest thing people can see is the volume of transaction, the network address that transaction is going to, but they don't necessarily know the person. Yes, and they may not be able to find out. They might not be able to find out until the person decides to blow his or her horn. So in crypto right now, we don't know who is the highest whale in crypto. We can only trace the address, right? And then, let me continue. The encryption of transaction details in the crypto space, the is the responsibility of blockchain. You guys all know what is encryption, right? I don't believe you know what is encryption. Encryption, that's coding. You're keeping something within a locked system so that people can't understand it, they can't have access to it, right? So I said the encryption of transactions details in the crypto space is the responsibility of blockchain. Now you might want to ask me, is there any other way people can find out who they are trading with? Yes. And that's through P2P, peer-to-peer trading. And peer-to-peer trading mostly happens among stable coins and some cryptocurrency. So the entire system of crypto is designed to protect users' data. And even on the P2P, you won't necessarily know who you are dealing with. You will only know the person's probably bank details. That's if you're sending money. Yeah, that's all. So one key difference between a typical or normal database and a blockchain is this. There's a difference between the data you know or the database you know and blockchain. I define blockchain as what? A database that makes it possible for the security, verification of transactions, right? The fidelity and security of a record of data. And I said it guarantees trust without the need for a trusted third party. So it's not that it doesn't need a third party, it doesn't even need a trusted third party. And I said there's a difference between the normal database that you know and the blockchain database. And the difference is the way the data is structured. Now, normally, we define data in our contemporary language as information, raw, whether raw or cooked or processed or unprocessed. We just know data is information. Okay? And we know database in our contemporary definition is just the storage system for these data. Yeah, blockchain is the storage system for the data in crypto, right? But the difference between blockchain and the database, you know, is blockchain collects information together, known as blocks. And these blocks hold sets of information. These blocks have certain capacity in storage. They have certain capacity in their storage system, or they have certain storage capacity. And when they are filled, when one block is filled, it is closed and it is linked to the
immediate previously filled block. Yes, that's why it's called blockchain. So the block is the data. And when the system gathers data and fills up a block, it links it, it channels it to the millions of blocks that has been in existence, and it channels it to the most immediate filled block, right? And that's why it's what called blockchain. And because of the fact that these data are blocks that are filled and linked to the previously filled blocks, in the blockchain, it makes it extremely difficult, nearly impossible, to trace a transaction. But like I said, right now, transactions can be traced. The only thing is, you might not trace the individual that is buying or selling. That's all. Except the individual comes to Twitter and announces that, hey, I am selling off my Bitcoin, I am selling off my Ethereum, like Elon Musk did. Elon Musk sold off and then he came and blew it. Hey, I've sold off my Bitcoin. And like I said, with blockchain, you can't easily, it's almost impossible to know who is the highest holder of a particular token apart from the team that built it. And normally in crypto, the team that developed that crypto, the team that built that cryptocurrency, they hold much of the tokens, most of them. Yeah, a lot of them. In fact, a huge majority of system out there and teams out there, they own a larger share of their tokens. But outside them, you will find it very, very difficult to know the civilian, the individual that owns another, similarly larger token. So let's remove the owners of the chain from the system. Let's remove those that created the crypto token from the system. It is nearly impossible to know who is the highest holder of a token. Because when you're thinking, is this person, you might just be shocked that it's not that person actually. For example, what happened in crypto, what is it, this month or late last month? Can't remember again, because I know I move on with the market as the market moves. Elon Musk, whom we know right now to be the world richest, sold off 70% of his Bitcoin assets. And unfortunately, it affected the market, but the impact on the market was not necessarily significant. It was just a 15-minute candle that went down, a 5-minute candle that went down. Yes. And then immediately the market started recovering. So it made me understand that, Elon Musk might be the richest man in the world, but he's not the richest man in crypto. I don't get it, but this is all made possible by blockchain. Like I said, we can only trace the address of where the most tokens are being held, but we can't necessarily know who owns it. So I have give you definitions of blockchain. I've told you why it's called blockchain. It's called blockchain because informations are collected in blocks. They fill up a block, we add it to the link of other blocks that has been filled. Now, all new information that follows that freshly added block is compiled into a newly formed block. And that will be also added to the chain once it's filled. So once a block is filled, a new one will open and data will keep flowing in. It gets filled, and these things happens in milliseconds, micro milliseconds. It doesn't take a second for a block to get filled. Transactions are happening milliseconds. I mean micro milliseconds, I can assure you. If you go to the cryptocurrency space, if you are using probably TradingView, don't bother, you don't know what's TradingView. If you're new here, I'm going to teach on that when we advance, when we continue to climb. If you're using TradingView, if you go to the time frames, you will see seconds there. And it is almost impossible to predict the market using seconds, right? So I'm telling you that the blockchains, the data that makes up every block is being filled in micro milliseconds, as if there's any word like that, though. So now what happens to the chains of block? as they are being formed and filled with data. What happens? What happens? Now, this group of blocks that are constantly collated and gathered are linked by what we know as cryptography. So if you were here in the last class, see, this is why the last class is important, in case you missed the last class, because now I've mentioned cryptography. And cryptography was something I mentioned in the last class. So if you were here in the last class, you would understand what cryptography is. But nonetheless, let me just give you a short definition of cryptography. Cryptography is the system that links those blocks. So you have crypto and you have graphy. So it's more like those lines. So cryptography is the link itself. Maybe not the link itself, but then let's just say it's the link itself, because it was responsible for linking the previous data or the current data to the previous data. So this group of blocks that are constantly filled, collated, and gathered are linked together by what we know as cryptography. Right? To still further buttress on this, let me give you one or two definitions of cryptography, of the word cryptography. Yeah, I believe it will help, just so that everyone is carried along and no one is left behind. So in the blockchain system, cryptography is mainly used to protect user privacy and transaction information and ensures consistency. So we know that blockchain is a group of blocks holding information, holding data for crypto, and these blocks are linked to the previous block. But the technology that is responsible for linking these blocks is known as cryptography. Yes, it's as simple as that. The technology, what makes it possible for block A to be linked to block B, to be linked to block C, to infinity, is called cryptography. Right? And you will find cryptography in every computer, because like I said, blockchain is a distributed database that is shared among the nodes of a computer. So when cryptography links up a data and it is, sent to the blockchain distributes that database to different nodes of different computers. So your computer has a node, and your computer has the capacity and capability to run blockchain services or blockchain activities. And the reason for that is simple. Every computer has a node. And that's why, like I said, the word, what we call the people that, makes up, that adds to the nodes, people that are always coding to, make flow the transactions, are called miners. But that's not what we are doing for today. Let's stick to the course. So who makes up these blocks in the blockchain? That's the next question. Given the definition of blockchains, I've given several definitions of two or three. I've told us the encryption of transaction in crypto space is the responsibility of blockchain. I've given us the difference between the blockchain database, and the normal database. I've also told us how blocks are being linked to the blockchain. I've defined the blockchain, separating the words block, data collected in a block, chain, linked up to other existing blocks, right? Now, I've also told us what happens to the chains of block as they are being formed, and the technology that makes it responsible for this chain called blockchain. So who makes up these blocks in the blockchain? You and I. Simple. When transactions are carried out by individuals in the crypto space with either our phones, laptop, or electronic devices, the information being transmitted through nodes is what makes up and fill a block. So you can see that a block or a node is in our phones and our laptops and any electronic devices that is capable of carrying out a blockchain activity. So you and I makes up a block or a blockchain. Yeah, because these blocks makes up the blockchain. So you and I makes up the blocks and the blockchain system. And like I said, when transactions are carried out by individuals in the crypto space with either their phones, laptops, or any electronic device that is capable of carrying out a blockchain activity, the information, the data that is being transmitted through this device is what makes up and fills a block. All right. So I'm going to show us another diagram to further better illustrate what I just said right now. So here it is. So the first diagram you saw me show you guys was just computers. I showed you diagrams of just computers. And you see that these computers were just, interconnected branches and intersections, interjections, all manner sorts of movements amongst these computers. But right now I'm showing you another image, and you can see that each computer has a human being beside it. So it means if these human beings don't operate, this system, won't automatically operate on its own, except there's a clause there, except it has been automated. Yeah, so you can automate transactions in your system, simple, and they will keep on contributing to the nodes, the system itself, right? So let's stop sharing now. A normal database usually structures data into tables. A normal database makes use of tables. Although you have a spreadsheet, your MS Word, and all that. That's where you store data. Whereas in a blockchain, like its name implies, the structure of the data are, chunked or chunks of blocks that are strong, connected, strong, strung, that are strong, that are connected, that are linked together. This data structure inherently makes an irreversible timeline of data when implemented in a decentralized nature. This data that we're talking about, this blockchain data, this database, it makes what an irreversible timeline of data when implemented in a decentralized nature. What this means is when you have initiated a transaction in a decentralized, both in a centralized system, apart from P2P, as long as you've traded, especially on decentralized platforms, once you have initiated that transaction, it is irreversible. It is irreversible. So if you copy the wrong address, let's say you want to send, for example, I'm going to use Bitcoin, which is the most predominant crypto that we all know. So let's say that you want to, what's it called now? Let's say you want to buy Bitcoin and you're using a decentralized exchange like PancakeSwap, Trust Wallet. Yeah, predominantly Trust Wallet is a platform where you can hold your cryptocurrencies. PancakeSwap is a decentralized exchange. Uniswap is also there. Well, so let's say you initiate a transaction on Trust Wallet and you copied a wrong network address, because this blockchain, this system has different networks operating in it. So you have the ERC20 network, you have the BIP20 network, you have the Polygon network, the Solana network, the AVAX network, the ADA Cardano network. You have different networks. And you copy the wrong network address and you send that Bitcoin. What it automatically means is your money is lost into oblivion. There's no recovery. Yes. I said the data structure inherently makes an irreversible timeline of data when implemented on a decentralized or in a decentralized nature. So when a block is filled, it is set in stone and becomes a part of this timeline. So each block in the chain is given an exact timestamp when it is added to the chain. Each block is given an exact timestamp when it is added to the chain, right? Now, another definition of cryptography that I have is cryptography is the mathematical, electronical, and computational practice of encoding and decoding data. I repeat, cryptography is the mathematical, electronical, and computational practice of encoding and decoding data. So cryptography involves mathematics, it involves electronics, it involves computational practices. And these practices are both for encoding, that's imputing, encrypting data, and decrypting data, decoding data. All right. So the reason why I had to include this subject in this curriculum is so that tomorrow you'll be careful in the crypto space, because you can easily lose your money to the wind without explanation. You enter a wrong transaction on a decentralized nature or a decentralized platform, and you make even a mistake. Like the address of these networks, they are unique. They are not all the same, right? And they are combination of alpha letters, small letters, numeric figures. Basically, alpha letters, small letters, numeric figures, and sometimes, and even most times, symbols. So if you as much as make a mistake in deleting a symbol by mistake and you didn't verify before initiating that transaction, you won't say, it's because I didn't know there was a full stop there. So I didn't know. How do I get my money back? You can't get that money back. Yes, it has entered the blockchain. And since it's not wired to anybody, and you can't say, okay, I made a mistake in an address. So possibly there's someone else that has that address. It's not. There's nobody that has that address. Once you've made a mistake on an address, you've made a mistake on that address. There's nobody that say, okay, this person's end statement or end letter was a T, a capital T. And then the person you sent to, or the address you imputed, you made a mistake and deleted the T by mistake. And then you felt, okay, I saw T, but I think it's small letter. And you type in small letter. There's nobody that owns that particular address. So that money is lost. That's why you need to understand blockchain, like I said. That's why I included it in this course, so that you be careful in the crypto space, because you can lose money without explanation. You need to be extremely careful when you initiate transactions in the crypto space. Cryptography, crypto, secret, mystery, hidden, graphy, writing, drafting, etc. So cryptography is simple secret writing. They also call it secret writing. Yeah, separate the words, break the words down, you get a simpler meaning of it. So let me give you further definition of cryptography before I end this session. So I said that cryptography is the ability to exchange messages that can only be read by the intended recipient. So that's why I said, if you make a mistake in any address, nobody receives that message. Nobody. It enters oblivion. It enters the system and it enters oblivion. Now, depending on the configuration of the cryptography technology, the cryptography technology can ensure pseudo or full anonymity in cryptocurrency. So you can have, a system whereby, like I said, you can know the wallet address receiving a transaction, but you won't necessarily know the owner. So it can ensure pseudo or full anonymity in cryptocurrency. All right. Finally, cryptography in blockchain guarantees the security of the transaction and the participant. Is independent of operation from a central authority, and it also protects users and individuals like you and I from double spending, right? So A better way to still, explain this cryptography stuff is, you can make a wrong bank transfer to someone, and the bank, if they love you, the banks, if they love you, I said your normal traditional banking, you can make a wrong transaction, and then you can go to the bank, and if you find favor, they can tell you, okay, let's trace the account number. In crypto, you can't say you want to trace the account number. Even if you trace the wallet address, you don't know who owns it. Yes, even if you trace the wallet address, you don't know who owns it. So unlike banking or like your traditional bank, so I was saying that just like as you go to the bank and you make a wrong transaction and you shout, help me, I don't know where my transaction went to. And they press 1 or 2 in their system and they say, okay, you made a wrong input on an account number. And look at the owner of this account. So we'll help you call this person and we involve the police and all that. In crypto, if you make that kind of mistake, you're gone. Yes. And even in crypto, even if you make the mistake on P2P, where you use people's account number to make transactions, even if you make the mistake, bank will not help you, because right now the banks have been given an issue or a warrant and an order to freeze the account of crypto traders. So you can't walk in and say, I made a crypto transaction and I made a mistake in the account number. They will not listen to you. So when trading in this decentralized space, be very careful. There are ways to be careful. Which many blockchains do we have in the cryptocurrency space? Currently, according to the information I have, there for now, there are at least 4 types of blockchains. 4 types. You have the public blockchain, private blockchain, consortium blockchains, and hybrid blockchains. So there you have it. You have at least 4 types. And then you could also, you could read up on these stuff that I mentioned: the public blockchain, private blockchain, consortium blockchain, and then we have the hybrid blockchains. So you can, visit Wikipedia, get acquainted with this. So you might want to ask, okay, I thought Bitcoin is a blockchain. Yes, Bitcoin is a blockchain network under a public blockchain. It's not private, it's public. Right. So there you have it. Very much, guys. That will be all. And please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please, if you missed the last class, especially subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the videos, drop your comments. It's very necessary for us. It's very necessary for us that are providing this content. Thank you.